What was supposed to be a glamorous weekend rubbing shoulders with Hollywood elite at a posh Italian film festival quickly devolved into a humiliating spectacle for Meghan Markle. The Duchess of Sussex found herself physically removed from the front rows and banished to the back of a screening room after an infuriated Katie Holmes caught her trying to worm her way into the actress's immediate circle, leading Holmes to angrily brand Markle a deranged stalker before ordering security to haul her away. The shocking run-in and ensuing clash occurred last Friday night during the opening ceremonies of the Venice Film Festival's annual celebration of American cinema on the Lido Island. Multiple sources have confirmed Holmes, by chance, happened to be seated just 2 rows ahead of the former royal renegade in the prestigious Sala Grande Theatre for a special 25th anniversary screening of her breakout film Teaching Mrs. Tingle. However, the festive evening took an immediate turn after Meghan evidently tried leveraging her minor celebrity by awkwardly attempting to introduce herself to the Batman Begins star and her longtime bestie and co-star Judy Greer. According to stunned onlookers, the overly fawning and heavily breathing Duchess essentially forced her way past festival organizers to leer over Holmes, giddily acknowledging their close ties stemming from alleged years-long, secret direct message conversations the pair supposedly shared on Instagram. It was quite easily one of the most insane, cringe-worthy things I've ever witnessed from a relatively famous person, disclosed one dismayed festival staffer who helped provide security after the incident spiraled out of control. Here's this woman who always preaches about online toxicity and trauma, literally letting out these bizarre girlish gasps while trying in vain to fangirl her way into being besties with Katie Holmes, who could not have looked more mortified if she tried. Holmes, understandably taken aback by the highly forwardness much like one might react to an unstable or disturbed stranger, reportedly tried extracting herself from the Duchess's presence as politely as possible at first, slowly inching further into her aisle seat after curtly advising her overzealous self-professed, global influencer friend, that they did not actually know each other at all. But Meghan appeared undeterred by the obvious social cues calling for restraint. Sources say she continued rambling on obliviously about their close connections and deep, spiritual bonds, in a desperate bid to lure Holmes into an impromptu encounter and potentially cement their place in each other's friend groups and inner orbits. She just kept babbling about how massively connected they both felt, almost confessing her abiding sense of idolization for Katie's enduring indie cred and effortless old-world grace that she wished she herself could one day emulate, the festival worker revealed with embarrassment. At one point Meghan told her, "You'll never have to face any trauma or public shaming again with me in your inner circle as your protector." From there, the delusion allegedly reached a terrifying fever pitch as Meghan seemingly grew increasingly incensed by Holmes's lack of reciprocation or even basic civility, accusing the Batman star of lying about their imagined highly intimate, long-running IG friendship and secret plans to collaborate on a host of creative projects in the coming year. "You're just lapping up all those vicious haters' sick lies about our profound connection, but I know the real you," Meghan frantically insisted according to one aghast bystander's recollection. "Don't let them win, Katie. You can always find sanctuary and acceptance in my LA girl group. There's no way the trauma you've endured would ever be tolerated around us sisters." Upon a shaken Greer's panicked insistence for the two to flee the toxic encounter, Holmes reportedly requested theater security race over to her row and ensure Meghan be immediately removed from her vicinity. Event staff then asked the Duchess to leave, but she point-blank refused until repeatedly warned expulsion would then require transport to the police station. At that point Katie told them to literally drag her out by any means necessary, calling her a deranged, obsessive stalker, who clearly posed a safety threat to everyone in attendance, said the staffer, who confirmed at least 4 burly security personnel had to forcibly take Meghan by each limb and carry her from the theater as she cried and begged to be let go. It was completely insane, like a real out-of-body sci-fi thriller horror type of experience for all of us staff. Video footage obtained by Italian tabloids appears to capture the tail end of the incident, with a visibly irate Holmes seen angrily reapplying her makeup while Judy Greer attempts calming her down, with Meghan being hauled past them and deposited in a roped-off section behind the crowd, confined to the very last row of the theater as organizers formulated a plan to remove her entirely from the premises. In the mayhem that followed, sources say the Duchess was only spared a full ejection thanks to fervent pleas by her own crisis PR team and a few sympathetic festival staffers, including its executive director Alberto Barbera, who eventually negotiated terms to allow her stay for the screening while surrounded by a security cordon in far back. But the indignities and humbling would apparently continue when the main event did get underway. Since they couldn't kick her out completely, Katie and her team insisted that Meghan remain in the absolute furthest rear corner by the exit doors, essentially treating her like a maximum security prisoner, the source detailed. And every time she'd meekly try standing during ovations and gasping gratuitously loud for Katie's attention on stage, theater attendants were ordered to shush and sit her back down discreetly. In addition to being relegated to the ultimate back row barred from approaching other stars and figures, the attendant added that the former Princess of Montecito had to endure a literal laugh track each time she giggled or sighed during quieter scenes aimed to elicit sympathy and connection. You could hear Katie's friends emitting sort of mocking, awe sounds anytime Meghan audibly fawned from the dark recesses behind them, the eyewitness laughed. It was just incredibly awkward and demeaning to witness this woman who once had a billion-dollar brand completely humiliated and ostracized, at what's supposed to be one of the world's most elegant, glamorous events, due to her own delusional thirst for celebrity worship. As night turned into day, the catastrophic fallout from the disastrous Holmes confrontation quickly dominated social media conversation and tabloid headlines around Meghan's latest PR implosion, with global entertainment watchers largely castigating the Duchess for her perceived negligence in managing uncontrollable celebrity and status obsessiveness. It's almost Shakespearean tragedy witnessing this woman doggedly self-sabotage in her foolishly reckless attempts to pathologically leech onto blue-chip figures and validation that's objectively incongruent with her current station in life as an out-of-touch, overrated D-lister, assessed celebrity branding analyst Adam Penworth. This latest meltdown suggests she'll keep repeatedly squandering whatever flimsy stands she retains until appropriately medicated or institutionalized. Other pop culture critics and royal pundits had even fewer reservations, saving their commentary for one of Meghan's most mortifying public incidents to date. On a certain morbid level, one has to appreciate that Meghan's obsession with Katie Holmes lends unintentional truth to the suspicion that she subsists as little more than a millennial compulsion impersonator without an actual authentic identity of her own, remarked acerbic royal author Brandon Shawcross. That kind of textbook grifter mimicry and inability to cope when her delusions are rejected should require years of intensive deprogramming. Sadly, with Prince Harry's memoir still forthcoming, this may just be a foreboding preview of how comprehensively and toxically Markle intends torching every remaining friendship, family tie, and associate remotely tethered to the charred ruins of their credibility, flailing ever harder to reinvent themselves as the ultimate feminist victims extraordinaire. Meanwhile, representatives for both Holmes and the Venice Film Festival have remained relatively tight-lipped about addressing the disturbing backstage confrontation that played out in front of countless attendees. Holmes's publicist issued a terse statement thanking staff for their quick action, removing an overly excited person from the premises, while declining to further identify individuals as a matter of policy.